dope. Then what is it? It ain't substance. What challenge can they prove? How can they prove the sun's not shining today? Or the sun ain't going to come out tomorrow. They might tell you, well, you believe the sun's going to come out tomorrow. If you're in accord with science and math, you know for a fact the sun is going to come out tomorrow. Scientifically. Unless science done took a turn somewhere. Religions don't deal with math and science. They don't deal with science. That's why they can tell somebody, well, it was a Virgin Mary. We know it takes a man and a woman to produce a child on this planet. You see, they come. He walked the water, and the bread turned into wine. Or the bread came out of the sky. Water was turned into wine. So we know in order to do any of these things, you need a refinery.
That's right. That's correct. You see? Talk about it.
See, it cuts out all that mystery, that Santa Claus syndrome. You see, when you wake up and know how to think logically, then you know ain't no Santa Claus. Like, oh, come on.
Yeah, you got to be kidding me. And that's that's something else. You know what? Why are you mentioning around that? Because you have the Christmas holiday, a murderous holiday, and also some of the Thanksgiving when they also taught a lot of our people that would you say that all of the holidays of the Europeans that our people practice, these false holidays of murder and torture by our enemies, would you say, not even include, don't forget the enemy of ourselves? I also want to make sure I address that tonight, too, because we are actually doing the job of the devil in this day and time. That's the sad thing about a lot of it. So I don't want to get into the point of also looking at the European, even though he's the play. I want to make sure also we realize that we have a lot of boule, house Negro syndrome that we got to get out of us. That's why I heard a concept one time by one of the house Negroes, I call him sometimes myself, King Noble. And he mentioned one time about the nigger that must die in us every day. I heard you mention about it earlier. And what I'm saying is that when you say the word nigger, that does not even connect to us. We have to also remember that a nigger is not a color, it's a condition. I think we should also remember that. So when you hear the word, we should not actually look at that as us. When we hear the word God, like God and righteousness, then that should ring our ear. Because a lot of times our people, we associate the struggle and nigger and the civil rights movement, we associate all of these things with our existence. That's probably one of the reasons why we ain't where we need to be, because we are taking these other things as part of us. Just like you still have brothers that know the God itself, and they say you can keep all that garbage you got there of this book here, this treaty here, this thing. You keep that, because if I know I'm a black God, I don't need none of that garbage. I know that I'm supposed to live accordingly to what's right. You can keep all those books there. Same thing when you go to South Central America among people that can't even speak language that we understand. But when you come in, they treat you with love and compassion. They don't need no books. They don't need no holy this to know how to behave. We got to get to that point where we know how to show love and compassion for each other without any written documents. And a lot of times that makes me sick with our people, too, because we got to do everything with paperwork instead of using our God mind, using that natural manifestation of knowledge and wisdom that comes from us and enlightenment. Every time you see somebody that's religious, you ever notice they got to have a piece of paper in their hand? Think about that. And I want to ask you about the religious mythologies. Would you say that it's also big business in terms of brainwashing our people to spend money and continue to be consumers than what they are?
Oh, that's a major business. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. You know, a lot of preachers, they go in as a profession. You ask them what they do. Oh, I'm a preacher at a church. To them, or in their world, that's just as good as being a doctor, because they both get to drive the Cadillac or the Rolls Royce at the end of the day.
Well, Farrakhan got a lot of those, don't he? I think he had
they both selling dreams. You know, the preacher's selling dreams and false hope, and so is the doctor. Because them drugs are not going to heal you.
All right.
The earth has everything we need to heal us. What the devil does, he goes and throws some side effect I wouldn't say man because God is man, mankind made, because he's a kind of a man. Since he's 3/4 beast, he's not a man. He's not the original man. So he sit there and make a drug.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a drug means to drag you. That's what a drug does. It drags you in the ground.
Mm.
You know, you always are low. You always are down. And you need that. You know, it always makes you dependent. You see? So it drags you. It's a drag. That's what something that's always constantly pulling on you. It's a drag. That's what negativity is. It's a negative drag. It constantly tries to drag or to bring you down or to bring your motion back to nothing.
That's powerful. Now let me ask you something else, and I'm glad you mentioned that too as well with drugs. Would you say that the drug dealers on the street and the crackheads are in the same condition as the white devils in Walmart or any of these pharmaceutical corporations? Meaning,
definitely. Is the only thing different with him? His drugs is legal. You know, since the devil can't get no tax from that, that's illegal.
You talk about it.
Plus, that gives him the opportunity to play good devil, bad devil. Remember, the devil's only illusion is to make people think he don't exist. Once you know about him, he ain't got no power. So he arrests Negroes for something that he does on a legal tip, or something that he permits to take place.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned about that.
You know, they was able to stop as far as domestic terrorism.
Talk about it.
They infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan and all these other supremacist groups so much they had to reorganize their whole thing. They on internets and in suits and different things now. But before, back in the days, they was in government. These supremacist people.
Yeah, they say the American government, brother, is a mafia government. You know that, right?
This government infiltrated them so much, they done. So you mean to tell me if they wanted to stop these gangsters or these niggas out here killing each other and the guns and the drugs,
right?
If they really wanted to stop that and send infiltration and get people to stop those street organizations, they're still organizations. If they wanted to actually stop those things, you mean to tell me this devil wouldn't stop them?
Yeah, he would.
So he's blatantly showing you that he condones them.
That's blatantly. Right, because but see, you got to keep in mind too. I'm glad you touched on that, brother, because that just came across my mind. But you have to keep in mind one of the reasons why the devil do not want to stop any of the activity that they claim is illegal, even though they brought it in this country and was legal among them. But now when black people making money off the dirt and the drugs, now it becomes illegal. But let me just go on. So you got to understand that the tax, you mentioned taxation, IRS, OSHA, all this garbage, all of the tax is going to the prisons. So the reason why the drugs and the dope and the guns are out there in the black community is because this is a professional business. District courthouses, POs, don't forget the chefs. They got to cook your food when you go into prison. Don't forget the bail bondsmen. Don't forget any of the manhunters that may have to come after you if you don't go be a prominent hearing. So when we look at the new system now of guns and drugs, we have to understand that this is also a beautiful plan of a system. That the devil basically what they're saying is that if you don't come work for me at John Watermakers or McDonald's, if I can't get you to come work for me and flip hamburgers and mop my floor and clean my toilet, then goddamn it, I'm gonna make money off you off the back. That means if they can't make money off us up front, they're gonna make money off you on the back. That's what that Obama North American Union thing was all about. When Bush, I think in 1998 or somewhere in 2004, September 11th, they allowed all those Mexicans to come over here to take over, to use them as rag dolls for their corporations. So when you seen that going on with Bush and you seen Obama, the North American Union trade, making Mexico a part of the United States, all that was a master plan to be able to open these billion-dollar prisons to fill it up instead of 85% of the black and Hispanic. Now they're going to try to fill that motherfucker up to 100. That's what the ultimate thing is. So in today's time, if we don't realize that these little pieces of trap and candy, which is the white man's Disney World, if we don't realize that these things are out here for our destruction, these stages have been set, and we're supposed to be the actors and puppets of somebody else's game, then we're going to lose. So now we have no choice but to be the God of self. And to me, the God representing the good of the black man, but meaning that we have to be able to see it and look at it and know this is a trap for me. Devil, you ain't going to win. Bottom line, I know why you got the coke out here. I know why you got the guns. You do it. These are your toys. And that's what I loved a lot about when we used to build all the time, brother. You touched on that so much about Disneyland and the Matrix and how that's his toys. He really can't do anything to you until you start playing ball with him. You got to enter in his world. Y'all have to make some kind of a deal. You played with the cocaine, he played with the handcuffs. Bottom line. Now he got to come around. I'm enforcing some law. How the hell are you going to enforce some law? Same thing with these insurance companies that tell you that now you are insured. How do you pick somebody else to insure your own existence? Come on. And you walk down the street, you get popped and shot, and your insurance company comes back, and instead of your family receiving the money for you, they come back and snatch all the money.
That's the same thing with these niggas think when they say, my car, my house.
Oh, come on.
It ain't your house or car. As long as you are paying tax. Tax means to take.
That's right.
As long as the devil or this so-called government or whatnot continues to take from you, you might as well say you're written. You so-called own your house and you still paying rent. You still paying tax to the real owner. Because if you stop paying your taxes, it belongs to him. It's his. Your car can't even go on the highway unless you got your tax. So seeing beyond the illusion, who is really the real owner of all those things? As the book reads, render unto Caesar that which is his. Mm-hmm. Who is really the real Caesar? And Supreme Ali, you off of mute too.
Righteousness, brother.
Life and peace to you, too, brother.
Righteousness to the gods in the room.
That's right. I mean, that's very powerful, Brother Preem. You got me thinking about that. Tax means take. Woo. Brother Preem, can you give me a replay on that? You caught me, man, from left field with that. Seriously, you gave me a knowledge KO. Can you please run that back about tax means take? Please, brother? That's for the family in the house.
Well, when they tax you, they're taking from you that which obviously you so-called earn. Regardless if they take it from the public, if they take it from you buying a specific item, regardless of where they're taking it from, they're taking it and they're doing whatever they want with it. It's a taking. Somebody says, my take, that's mob right there. That's where it originally came from.
That's right.
The mob say, this is my take, my cut. So you can say, my take, my cut. That's the government's cut, the tax. They get their cut from everything. Even like I said, if you so-called own your house or you own a business and you selling products, they get their cut, mafia style. They get their tax. You don't pay your tax, you don't pay your cut, you don't pay your dues, they shut you down. Remember, America was founded, well, actually, they wasn't founded because they came with the Indians here.
That's right.
It was built by criminals from England. England means end of the land. English means last of the list. This is the last or the newest language on the list. These are the end people. So these people were criminals that enslaved, that murdered, et cetera, et cetera. And these same criminals are who built this so-called civilization, or this Western homosexual devil civilization that we're in.
Teach, brother. Drop that knowledge. Bring out the sword. Bring out that sword. That I feel that two-headed sword coming on, Brother Supreme, because you just touched on something that's key. This country was built on top of criminality and murder. That's right. So this is not the land of the free, no, it's the land of murder and exploitation.
Well, that's 1 plus 1. Right.
You see?
That's true.
You jump in a damn lake with some alligators, I don't care what Holy Bible Quran you got, they're going to eat your ass up. Okay? That's 1 plus 1 2. Go on, brother.